What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Today I was browsing DJBooth.net and they had a really excellent story with Wale. One of my favorite writers, got a chance to speak with Wale over the weekend regarding his Suicide Squad writing. Last week, Wale put out an EP titled Today I Got Time. It's an EP, a SoundCloud playlist, whatever you want to call it, but it was 4 songs, 3 freestyles, and his lost verse from Sucker for Pain, which was a posse cut from the Suicide Squad soundtrack. And shortly afterward, he got the call from DC to remove it. But obviously, once you put it out there in the world, you can't completely get rid of it. So I'm sure if you do a little bit of searching, you can find it. I like the verse. I thought it was nice, but I was wondering if it would have sounded as good in the context of everything else. There was a lot going on that record. You had Logic, you had Lil Wayne, you had Wiz Khalifa, ex-ambassadors Ty Dolla $ign. You had all these different personalities on one record, and it would have been easy for someone like Wale to be overshadowed. So when he released it like separately, I was like, okay, this is a really good verse. It's very Wale-esque. And then I read the article. This article is really good because it shows how much passion Wale has when it comes to songwriting. And I think that's something that's kind of always been there. If you just look at his own music, you see how much attention to detail he puts into the lyrics, into the concepts, into, the production. So hearing about him trying to land some records on Suicide Squad was good. One more thing about Wale's Sucker for Pain verse is that it was inspired by one of the scenes in Suicide Squad. There's a scene where Harley is, it's a flashback of her falling into the chemicals that would transform her into the Joker's queen. Those are Yo's words, not mine. So I thought that was really cool. Just having like the fact that he watched a little bit of the movie, saw this scene, saw this portion, and was like, okay, I'm going to base my entire verse around that. It was cool. And it doesn't stop there because he also wrote 3 other records for the soundtrack that didn't make the cut. But one of the ones that he revealed in the article was titled I Feel Safe. It's a story about the Joker and Harley Quinn. He says, I use safe as a metaphor like bank robbers breaking into a bank safe, but still making it into a love story. I think just based off of that description, I want to hear the record. There's another quote that I wanted to highlight from it, and it continues to build towards that passion I've been talking about. He says, I was looking at pictures of Harley Quinn. I treated writing for the movie like a school assignment, doing my own research, sticking to the script. As a writer, that's the least I can do. I had an interesting way of setting up to how I wrote it. Even the way I swung my voice, it sounds dark but optimistic. I take my time with music. Nothing is an accident with me. Those were his words in regarding the Sucker for Pain verse. But it really does fit for the other records too. Granted, we haven't heard them, but just the way he described I Feel Safe, I can conclude that he put that same kind of passion. So, will we ever hear these 3 songs? Well, yes and no. The likeliness that DC will let him throw out these records are very slim. We saw what they did when he put out his Sucker for Pain verse. In some ways, maybe that was him trying to test the waters, like, can I get away with throwing this out here, or is DC going to call me? So now that he knows DC wanted to take down the Sucker for Pain verse, he knows not to put out those 3 songs. At the end of this article, there's a promising statement from Wale that says he could possibly change some of the words and put the 3 records out, but he would want to do it in a bigger sense. He says, maybe I could do a Lost Files movie I wrote for a project. And I think that would be cool because Wale has also written for Beast of No Nation. He's probably done some other work that he hasn't talked about. But overall, the article is really well written. And you'll walk away appreciating and respecting Wale a little bit more. He talks about how the move to LA is going to help him try to get more into Hollywood and do things in that field. So I recommend checking it out. I'll include the link in the description section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at Sermon's Domain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.